of the bell. Mind calm, body at ease, breathing quiet, sentiment benevolent. Dharma friends, sitting still in vital silence, wanting nothing, we practice eco-Buddhism together. The sound of the temple bell booms for all to cease from conflict. May the way of Buddha usher in the dawn of non-violent global village forever. Here is the after sound of the bell. Thunder of silence, light after Dharma rain. Om Amoka Vairocana Mahamudra Manipadma Chavala Profataya
Good morning. Please rise. And as you rise, please smooth out your mat and fluff your cushion. They have supported you in your meditation and will support you. We will now go for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. First in Sino-Korean, in keeping with our tradition, and then in English, so that you know what you have said. The Sino-Korean is a chant. If you don't know the chant and don't know the Sino-Korean, don't worry. It's a sound practice. It's not about making beautiful music. It's about breathing together. So once you get the hang of it, throw your voice. Quenya And now English, please repeat after me. I go for refuge to the Buddha.
I go for refuge to the Buddha,
And resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
And realize the great way.
and realize the great way.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
I go for refuge to the Dharma,
And resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will penetrate the teachings.
I will penetrate the teachings
And uncover oceans of wisdom.
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
I go for refuge to the Sangha.
I go for refuge to the Sangha,
And resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many,
And transform this world into awakened lands unimpeded.
and transform this world into awakened lands unimpeded.
And now, before we sit back down, a dedication to our ancestors. This is the kind of text that is often recited in communities like ours. As you listen to it, please bring your full imagination to it. We will name communities that have lived on this land, and as you hear the words, bring them into your imagination as concretely as you can. This is not mechanical. These are real people who lived and loved this land. On this 18th day, correct? On this 19th day of October 2025, we acknowledge that this land where our temple buildings stand, has been the home of Native peoples, the Potawatomi, the Odawa, and the Ojibwe, the Council of the Three Fire Tribes, and also of Black Americans. We know that this neighborhood used to be a historically Black neighborhood during times of legally sanctioned racial segregation, legal exception. For our own awakening, and for the awakening of all life, may the benevolent energies of our meditation, chanting, and full presence here in this service this morning extend to all beings on this planet and throughout time and space. May there be deepening of our interbeing. May peace prevail and wars cease. Let us sit in meditation once again for a shorter period this time. the mic working? Is it really? No, it's not. Okay. I can be very loud. Good morning, Rainbow Does. Good morning, Rainbow Disciples. It is very beautiful to wake up in the morning. We'll wake up in the middle of the night. It is one of the most beautiful things. Kind of day where you just want to make a pot of tea. My name is Thompson. I'm one of the junior teachers. My study focus this year, and those of you who have heard me say this before, you can put your fingers in your ears. My study focus this year is the Dharma Sutra. And each time it's my turn to give a Dharma talk, I've made a little bit more progress working on the Dharma Sutra, and it has made a little bit more progress working. So this is the third one of these Dharma talks, and I think the theme so far has been thanks for letting go. So consider this thanks for letting go, part 3. So I want to start with a story. Years ago, in the late 90s, I had the most devastating breakup of my life. I had divorced my husband for this woman. We'd had a commitment ceremony, and then she dumped me over the phone, which back in 1995 was now we've got lots of more. Back then, that was the worst possible. So I'd thrown my whole life for this relationship with this woman. And then I felt like there was just nothing left. It was all destroyed. So I was having coffee with an old friend. And she told me, my friend told me that she was reading a book called Being Nobody, Go Nowhere. I said, God, that sounds depressing. She said, cheerfully, not if you're a Buddhist. So I bought the book. Here it is. I read it. And then when I got back to Ann Arbor, I'd gone back to Berkeley. When I got back to Ann Arbor, I came to service here at the temple. And here I am. And my practice is still being. And it really is. It's hard. It's countercultural. It is so countercultural. For example, in my workplace, we have yearly merit reviews. I'm putting that in quotes. We have yearly merit reviews in which we have to report on our achievements and awards. Did you get a Guggenheim? Did you get a MacArthur? And sometimes I'm on the committee responsible for reading all these reports and sorting out, apportioning the meager, tiny little merit raise, quote unquote, that we get every year. And when I do that, I get my nose rubbed in how wonderful all my colleagues are. And then I feel like poop. Like real, like I feel so less than. So this way of understanding myself makes me suffer, right? No poop, Sherlock. This is a recipe for suffering. And every year, the only way I can get through it is by reminding myself of another story. This is a Buddhist story this time. The story of Bodhidharma and the Emperor Wu. Bodhidharma is the founding ancestor of Zen. He came from India to China way back when. And the Emperor Wu was a big supporter of Buddhism. He founded monasteries, he funded translations of the sutras, he built temples, he spent a lot of money on Buddhism. And he was pretty proud of himself. So he summoned Bodhidharma to the palace and had all of those donations read out in front of Bodhidharma. And then, after that was done, he asked Bodhidharma, "What merit have I achieved by all of this?" And Bodhidharma, crusty a-hole that he was, responded, "No merit." The Emperor Wu scratched his head and said, "But wait a minute, so what is this Buddhism thing all about?" And Bodhidharma said, "Vast emptiness, nothing sacred." And so the Emperor Wu is like at the end of his rope at this point, and he says, "Who are you to tell me this?" And Bodhidharma says, "I don't know." So I need to be reminded of this story, and I love this story so much. I need to be reminded of this story because I have drunk the work merit Kool-Aid. And this way of understanding myself makes me suffer. And yet my workplace and my life experience and my culture teaches me to hold it tight. In fact, everything around all of us teaches us to hold self and identity tight. Work, politics, social media, everything. So here, for example, is just at random an excerpt from the Harvard Business School blog. Quote, "Every time we apply for a job or vie for a promotion or try to land a new client or try to land a new date, we have to market ourselves." The Harvard Business School lecturer Jill Avery says, "How do we apply everything we know about branding products and services to branding our most important product, which is ourselves?" Here's that sentence again, in case you missed it. How do we apply everything we know about branding products and services to branding our most important product, which is ourselves? Our most important product is ourselves? Wait, I'm not a product. This being here is a constantly changing pile of perceptions, thoughts, sensations, impulses, ideas. It's changing all the time. And it is a lot of work to convert that flux into a product. It's exhausting. And what results isn't really true. So, and this doesn't just go for ambitious MBAs or the very online. I am neither one, and it is a huge practice for me. The personal brand is just the commodification of the very human attachment to what the Diamond Sutra calls a self, a being, a soul, a person. And the second noble truth teaches us that this attachment causes suffering. It's the very root of all our suffering. So it's exhausting, this identity business. We have to keep building it up, defending it, improving it. And it's easy to forget that this identity business is really just a story we tell ourselves to make sense of the world, to make sense of that pile of sensations, memories, thoughts, impulses, all that. It's a story we tell ourselves. And it's not real with a capital R. And it's real with a small r. It's a real story. But it's not real with a capital R. And how do we know that it's not real? One, because we have to work so hard to keep it going. And we have to fight so hard to preserve it against the world. So that's reason one. Reason two is that I think every one of us has experience of something else. And you don't have to study the sutras or sit a long retreat to have this experience. It's called flow. It was named by a psychologist named Csikszentmihalyi. I just did that because I learned how to pronounce his name. It feels good to say it. Csikszentmihalyi. He named it in the 1970s. He named it flow. And flow is a state of being in which you're so immersed in what you're doing that everything else falls away. And that there's just the activity. A rock climber, Csikszentmihalyi interviewed in his original work for this, he interviewed a lot of people. And a rock climber that he interviewed described it like this, and I'm quoting the rock climber now. You're so involved in what you're doing, you aren't thinking yourself as separate from the immediate activity. You're no longer a participant observer, only a participant. You're moving in harmony with something else in progress. In flow state, self-consciousness just falls away. There's no me, there's no self, there's no other, there's just the activity. Whether it's rock climbing, playing tennis, improvising music, gardening, really talking to a friend. It can be happen in lots of places. I hope with my deepest heart that everybody in this room has had this experience. In Buddhism, this is called suchness. No self, no other. What a relief. And then after an experience of flow, then the self-chatter starts up again. Did I do that right? Did I do that right? What did other people think of me? But with practice, and this happens to me, it happens to all of us, I think. Well, I know it happens to me, I don't know about you. But with practice, and it is practice, I remember what that suchness felt like. And remember that getting all tangled up in that self-talk is an option. It's an option I take over and over and over again, but it is an option. And it's a story that I'm telling myself. So when I remember what that suchness feels like, I can loosen up my grip on that little me. And I do grip that very hard. So now, you knew this was coming back to the diamond. In the section that I'm studying this month of the Diamond Sutra, the Buddha, it's a dialogue between the Buddha and his student, Subhuti. And in this section, the Buddha asks Subhuti about what it means to be an arhat. And that's ancient lingo for a person, a practitioner who has obtained complete liberation. So in this lifetime, right? So an arhat is someone who is totally liberated, who is broken through, totally liberated. The top of the monastic heap. The Lord asked, "What do you think, Subhuti? Does it occur to an arhat, by me has the fruit of arhatship been attained?" No, indeed, O Lord. And why? Subhuti replies, because there is no dharma called arhat. If it could occur to an arhat, by me has the fruit of arhatship been attained, that would be in them a seizing on a self, on a being, on a soul, on a person. Yes.
Are you saying our hot or our hot shit?
I don't know. Smell it. There is no dharma called arhat. Subhuti says. That is, so that dharma there doesn't, dharma means lots of things. It means the teachings, but it also just means phenomena, it means things. So when Subhuti says, why? Because there is no dharma called arhat. That means there's no thing called arhat. It's not real. It's not a thing in the world. So if such a person identified with that, they'd be in arhat shit. And that would be, yeah, oh, that's even better. Okay, so we've just upped, Iljam just upped us one level, so there's arhat shit. And then there's arhat shit. So if you think you are hot shit, that's arhat shit. There we go, bingo. So if such a person identifies with that arhat shit, that is seizing on a self, on a person, on a being, on a soul. It's the seizing part that's the problem. So yeah, Subhuti's an arhat, but he doesn't seize on it. He doesn't cling to it. He continues. This is Subhuti talking. I am, O Lord, the one whom the Tathagata, that's the Buddha, the one whom the Tathagata has pointed out as foremost among those who dwell in peace. I am an arhat and free from greed. Yet it does not occur to me, an arhat am I and free from greed. So Subhuti is an arhat, but the translation that I'm using says it doesn't occur to him that he's an arhat. I don't have Sanskrit. I wish I did. I want to know what the Sanskrit is there, because it feels to me like it doesn't occur to him. It feels to me it's more like he doesn't identify with the arhat. So it's more like something like, I don't identify with the thought that I have attained arhatship. So I'll use that translation when I take Subhuti in the next paragraph. If, O Lord, I identified with the thought that I had attained arhatship, then the Tathagata would not have declared of me, Subhuti, son of a good family, who is foremost among those who dwell in peace, does not dwell anywhere. That is why he is called a dweller in peace. A dweller in peace. He's the foremost of those who dwell in peace, but he doesn't dwell anywhere. So dwelling in peace means not dwelling anywhere. Clinging to nothing, in flow all the time. So he doesn't dwell anywhere, and that is why he is called a dweller in peace. A dweller in peace. I love that repetition. When I recite it, when I get to that place, it's like like this great field opens up in front of me. A dweller in peace. A dweller in peace. It's like vast spaciousness all of a sudden. In a moment of suchness last year, or a couple of years ago, I had an insight I sometimes do. And I wrote it down as I do, and I pinned it to my wall right over my desk. where I do things like write my annual merit report. And that scrap of paper says, true humility is the path of peace. That scrap of paper is still there because I need to be reminded of it. But I think it really is. There's nothing to defend. It's the path of peace because there's nothing to defend, no self to defend, nothing to improve, just spaciousness. So I'll leave you with chapter 9 of the Tao Te Ching, which is a fellow traveler text for Zen Buddhism. It goes like this. Fill your bowl, this is the translation of Stephen Mitchell. Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Do your work and then step back. The only path to serenity. Being nobody, going nowhere. Depressing? Not if you're a Buddhist. I went a little longer than usual this time, but I think we have time for a little discussion.
It's interesting that you mentioned the Tao Te Ching, and because it's that sort of school is of non-doing, is of nothing. Buddhism, at least my perception of it, is extreme asceticism and like kind of ostentatious Buddha sleeping on beds of nails and all of that. Is that not is asceticism, I guess, a form of clinging? Is that doing something? Is that attaching to the identity of someone who can perform any feat of patience or you know?
Yes. In fact, in the story of the Buddha's life, he did go through a phase of extreme asceticism. We're told that he got it down to eating one sesame seed a day. But then after that, he had an insight. And the story is that a little girl brought him a bowl of rice pudding and he ate it. And then sat down under the Bodhi tree and broke through. And the teaching is that, and then he went back to the 5 ascetics that he had practiced with and told them that he'd eaten this bowl of rice. And they all said that he was, that he betrayed everything. But the teaching is not too tight, not too loose. It's called the middle path, the middle way. So I think all religious practices, all religious traditions, there's an ascetic streak in all of them. I know I myself struggle with, because it is a form of self-clinging. It's like, I am so heroic that I will do 10,000 prostrations in the snow. That is a form of self-clinging. But the wisdom in the tradition is the middle way. Not too tight, not too loose. Thank you. Yes.
We're hearing it on the audio.
Oh, okay. I think in the same breath as being clinging to positive parts of ourselves, like our achievements and our merits of the year, it can also be really easy to cling to our negative views of ourselves and begin to not trust ourselves, which I think can be really harmful. I know in my life it definitely is. And that is something that I've been trying to let go of, and not only, not only letting go of those good parts of my identity and letting those fall away, but also the preconceived notions that I have about myself and the non-trustings that I might find from that.
Yes, thank you. Self-hatred is just the other side of the coin of self of outrageous, arrogant self-love. They're such close sisters.
Hello, son of Nan. Yes. I'm wondering, as someone who doesn't really, I kind of do just kind of want to do my work and then just, step back. But then there's also a bit like I have want to do that. And does that kind of contradict it a little bit? It's like I want to be nobody going nowhere. Like, doesn't that kind of go against the whole thing of the acceptance of it? So I don't know. I'm just curious what your thoughts on that might be.
Son of Nan. That's why it's a practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we find ourselves, like I prepared this Dharma talk. So am I going to walk out of here thinking, damn, I did okay.
Yeah.
And then if I catch myself doing that, I catch myself doing it and I make bow and I think, and then I go, thanks for letting go.
Hi everyone. So I think I want to combine two things. Where the Buddha's realization after his path in asceticism, and how there's a middle ground between that and his previous path of luxury, and also the idea of making this story and this product of myself, and that perhaps the self as a product, if we can see it that way, as a story, maybe can be useful as a tool to achieve the enlightenment for all, right, for all life. Because otherwise I can just go into the woods and I'll be happy forever, right, until I die. I think about that all the time, but if I am to, if I think that I'm not separate from everyone else, and I'm not, then I should be, I should work hard and love people and so on, because, why should I just, liberate myself when I can liberate everyone, right? And I guess, does that resonate? I'm not sure. But yeah, thank you.
We will make great vows to liberate everyone at the end of the service. So you have your opportunity then.
Thank you so much for your talk. I appreciate it. It's right on time because I just did a great purge of things in my home. There's bags and bags and bags. It felt like a physical, emotional attachment for some reason, and I kept, that just kept coming up, and I think if you have, it just felt good to release. It's so easy to kind of just get caught in the flow of accumulation of things, and it's like symbolic of our internal experience. So that felt very good. And my question is if you have any advice. So a lot of things were toys. I have a 5-year-old, and I would like to try to teach him to learn to be satisfied with little. If you have any advice for children, how to teach them.
I am not a parent. So the only child I know very well is this one, who is still learning how to let go of things. We do have quite a wonderful Zen parents group. And they have, is anybody in the parents group here who can answer the question?
Oh, I don't know if I can answer the question.
Give it a shot. Anybody else in the Sangha want to give the question a shot? Yeah, Phil
A
Chandler.
cardboard box and pots and pans.
The cats too,
Yeah.
not just kids.
I mean, I remember watching my son. The cardboard box seemed to often have a bigger impression.
I remember loving cardboard boxes.
We just took all the cardboard boxes out of our house and I'm sad.
Okay, one more and then we have
Oh,
announcements.
He has one.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I guess I am a parent in that group, and I have a small child who I ask myself the same question: how do I do it? And I think in obviously a very Zen way, the best answer is a non-answer, is a no answer. You know, in a sense that what I was trying to teach, I think most lessons taught to children are best taught by example. And so there's a lot of just this idea of, I don't really know who you're supposed to be. And sort of internalizing that humility of, what am I supposed to be teaching my child? What is he supposed to be when this is done in industry? First of all, really internalizing the fact that I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know what you're supposed to be. And the second thing I would say is that a lot of the clinging that we have to stuff and things is to do with the fact that we do think we know who we're supposed to be. And that all these tools are things we're using to shape ourselves into that thing we know we're supposed to be. And so much of teaching my child these things is in just letting go of the idea that I know what he's supposed to be. And so much of my relationship with him is in allowing him to show me who he is, as opposed to me shaping him into be who he's supposed to be. And the experience of that freedom, of that liberation, in a more fundamental sense, then kind of spills over into the stuff about possession. It's okay, this thing is gone now. Well, did I need that? Well, I don't know. Who am I without it? I'm supposed to find out shortly, hopefully. You know, so it's just at the root of it, just cultivating this openness to being, this openness to, as I like to say, one of my favorite mantras, the openness to life, to allowing life to present itself to me. And so when he's without this toy, he's just like, all right, well, let's see what life is like without that toy. I'm like, yeah. And I think most importantly, as his parent, just joining him in that journey. I'm not, guiding him through it as much as I'm just walking it with him, walking the same path alongside each other. It's like, okay, well, let's both find out who we are about that thing. And so I would say, in brief, the short answer is just an openness to finding out, the openness to discovery. If you could teach him that, well, he's not going to use possession stuff. I've got a much bigger toy to play with. Gestures at everything.
Gestures at everything. Announcements?
You guys decide.
Announcements?
I don't know if this microphone's working or not. I'll just talk loud. People here for the first time today? We have a few, right? Yes. Welcome, especially. These services are we hope you come back. And these are offered every Sunday morning at 10. And then the second Sunday of the month are the families program where the youth and children join us too. And that's once a month. And the next service is November 9th, family service. Together Action is every Saturday from 3 to 5, which I frequently attend. It's great. We work on the garden, the temple grounds. We consider hands-on work a vital aspect of our Buddhist practice. As we care for the temple, we care for ourselves. Yoga with David Black is every
Tuesday. Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:15.
Okay, 6:30. And a new series, 6-week series starts October 21st, but it's already ongoing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Just show up.
Okay, there's a study group, Lotus Sutra Study Group, that's not easy to say, with Chijang Cliff Brown. It started the 14th, but there's still time to join. That's from 7 to 8:15 in person and Zoom. They're going to be reading through the Lotus Sutra and have the opportunity to share and discuss. And there's a clipboard out in the foyer to sign up.
What day does it meet?
Tuesdays from 7 p.m. to 8:15.
Samantha Cyrus Scholl will offer a new Qigong class on Monday evening, starting the 20th. It will teach you to use gentle movements, stretching, and mindful breathing to bring your body, mind, spirit deeper into harmony. That's going to be Mondays from 6:30 to 8. Sign out sheet out there too.
In here.
Oh, in here. Okay. Okay, the temple has vacancies in the residential visitors program. It's for people who want to spend some time living in a Buddhist community here. They follow the daily schedule and participate in programs such as retreats, study groups, public services, and yoga classes as their schedules permit. One can seriously pursue one's spiritual path or simply seek peace and harmony in a wholesome environment. Talk to one of the teachers if you have interest in that. Yes, this is new. We have a Sangha Care Committee. In spirit of compassion and interconnection, our temple is here to support you and your loved one during time of need. Warm meal, hospital visit, caring phone call, or helping check on a pet, or a ride. We did our first, or I don't know if we've done it yet, but we have agreed to help someone with a ride.
Is it Anthony?
I've been out of town. To request support, well, I have the email address here, and Botany is actually here, so you can see her too afterwards. The temple holds an online Sangha service every Sunday night, 7 to 8:30. Joins practitioners from this temple, Toronto, and New York, and then people who are living far away. The Zoom link is on our website. The temple is entirely supported by your generous donations. There's a fishbowl in the foyer for donations, and then a barcode also on there. And we will have tea after the service.
I've got one now too. For this AV unit that we got, we could really use a person or two if you have time to once in a while join in and be that person on this. And then you could probably learn to do a better job than me. Just see me afterwards if you're interested.
Recovery Dharma will meet from 12 to 1 today in the library at Historic Buddha Hall, or as I like to call it, the big yellow house right next door.
Since the Qigong class is here on Monday night, should we clear out all the mats and cushions after service?
No, because we have morning.
Okay. So as we stand, if you have sat on a mat and cushion that is not touching the rug, please pick up your mats, stack them for the rats on this side of the house. They go in that corner, and the cushions go, you can see that in the little rack next to them. On this side of the hall, the mats and cushions go on the little stage. The mats and cushions, the cushions, mats touching the rug stay where they are. So as we stand, we will stand and end our service with the 4 great vows and 3 big vows. Please repeat after me. All beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate.
I vow to liberate.
Blind passions, one root.
Blind passions, one root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind.
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha.
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to become it.
I vow to become it.
Well, it's on the third. Okay, that's great.
Yes. This is that model, so I can't say, but
Yeah. They're all kind of.
yeah. Do I just give you my contact? Sure.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll be out there.
Yes, sir. Now I've forgotten how to do it. You gotta fold it right when it comes over. How you been? How's your body? It's cold, wasn't it?
No, it's raining.
And it's safe, it was just fine, and I had
There.